Hey, sis, and welcome back to another episode of the Balanced Woman podcast. Today, we have a very special guest because she knows exactly what it's like to be an overwhelmed and busy mom. She is someone who truly understands what it's like to just survive and survive and survive. Jardé is the founder of Levate by DAE, a transformational coaching service for working moms who are ready to reclaim their peace, energy, and time. But she's not only a coach, she's a mom. She's been through the late nights, the nonstop to-do list, and the constant pressure of feeling like you're not doing enough. But she didn't stay stuck in that cycle. And today she's going to share how trust me, this is the episode you need to tune into, especially if you've been wondering how to get that spark back and prioritize. So grab a cup of coffee or your tea and settle in because today we're going all in. Jardé, welcome to the podcast.
Let me down.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, welcome to the podcast. Please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you. Definitely gonna pick your brain a lot on the synth method, obviously, but would love to hear just a little bit more about you.
Okay, perfect. My name is Crystal, but I go by D Roberts. That's the name that I write under. It is part of my actual name, so it's not some made up name. And I'm a Houston girl. I was born and raised here, spent most of my life here. I did travel a little bit while I was in the United States Army, and I served in Germany overseas. So I did my 3 years there, and I loved it. I'm definitely trying to go back and enjoy
Oh,
the lifestyle outside of the military life. So I love that. And once I came home, I began to just I started my family, had my kids, and in the workplace, I just began to get into more leadership roles, mentoring and training. And that's basically helped me to get to the point where I am today, basically to help other people. That's why I started my own publishing company, and it's more of a hybrid publishing company to help people basically like have accountability for their writing, publish their work, and their work can help other people. Yes,
man. So how, okay. First of all, thank you for your service.
yes, of
How
course, yes.
did you make the segue from Uncle Sam to publishing? What was the motivation there?
I've always been that kid that was reading. Like as a kid, I probably ended up wearing glasses because I was always hiding somewhere with a book.
Uh-huh.
Um, back in the day, you would get picked on for wearing eyeglasses. You would call four-eyed and all that, all those things. I went through all that as a child, but that never stopped me from putting down a book. So I was always an avid reader. I was always into puzzles, and that was kind of the thing that kind of calmed me. Coloring books, all that fun stuff. I never let go of that. Like that's been with me my entire life. It's helped me to study new things. That's how I got into the healthcare field. I wanted to try something new. A friend was doing it, and I was like, okay, well, I'll try it. She wanted to teach me and see if she could teach this new thing. And so I was like, girl, pick me. I'll do it. What I got to lose? And she gave me the books. She started having class, and I took that book, and that book became my best friend. And so I've always been a book girl. I love reading. I've always been into reading. And so, what better way to go from just being a regular reader to doing my own thing, publishing my own work? And that was my strong suit in school. English. I was not the math girl, I can count my money, honey. But books, reading, writing, literature has always been my thing. And so it was kind of always in me, and it was just an easy transition for me.
Nice. Okay. And it definitely sounds like above anything else, you've always just been open to opportunities.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Needless to say, that makes today's conversation perfect because it's all about that mindset, right?
Oh yes.
Okay, so I'm going to segue into that with talking about the mindset first. What are some of those like thoughts or beliefs you had about yourself that helped you to make sure that you prioritize those needs? Like you really honed in on your your personal and professional growth, really, with what you just told us. What mindset shifts did you have to make, if any?
I definitely had to make a lot of shifts in my mindset. One of the biggest things was not counting myself out and
Mm,
being my greatest cheerleader. I had to really say to myself, I don't have nothing to lose. I have everything to gain. So I've always been a girl that'll jump and courageously jump into something new. I said, let's see if I can do it. I'm proving to myself if I can do it. And it's been working so far. I'm trying to step into this new thing, transition into this new thing, and see if this new thing can work out for me. And thankfully everything has begun to work out for me. So it has been a journey of taking a courageous step into something new. Um, One another thought process I had to get through was believing that I was capable.
mm,
Sometimes we go through life and we're not sure if we can because we lack the resources, we lack knowing the right people.
yep.
We think that, oh, if I don't know this person, how am I going to get through this door? It's okay to not know them. If it's necessary and needed for you to know them, you will get to know them. And maybe they're not really for you. So you step through the door anyway and get where you need to go and do what you need to do for you. And you may run across that person, you may not. But at least you've made that step into that door. And I had to literally believe that I was capable of doing all the new things, all the new ventures that I've stepped into. It takes believing in yourself. Definitely.
And that's such a hard thing to do. I think when we're younger, everybody instills that within us, and it's easier to follow through because, like, if we fail, everybody's there to cheer you on. When you become an adult, it's crickets, or or everybody and their mama is like, you failed, and it's like showcased, right? And so now, or at least maybe I'm projecting a little bit, but I think a lot of the women I work with now, that is that fear of like the failure, or when things become uncomfortable, they don't want to make that mindset shift. They don't want to sit in that discomfort like you had to and just still go through with it. How did you navigate that? Like, how did you push through that?
I am my first, last, and sometimes I've been my only cheerleader.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Like, I do things scared all the time.
Yeah,
I do it scared, and because we're gonna get afraid of something, right? Like no one's perfect to the point where they wake up and say, "Yes, I can do it all." No, that's not like realistic, right? We're gonna,
right.
oh my God, we get anxious about it. We experience anxiety. That's natural. Do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like it takes courage and bravery to step out when you don't know, and it's okay. Like when you fall, scrape your knees. That's okay. Get up, dust your knees off,
Yeah.
dust the pain off, heal some of your boo-boos, and keep going. Like it's scary though, but I've had to be my first yes. Like no matter how nervous I get, be your first yes. Like who else stopping you but you? Even if the people around you are telling you, "Girl, I don't know, girl. Like that's a lot. Think you can do that?"
Yeah.
I, I let them say whatever they're gonna say, and that doesn't change. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna do it anyway, cause some people just do that, right? Like
Yeah.
sometimes we try to talk somebody into something or out of something. They don't always listen. So why do you have to listen to their advice, especially if it's not pushing you towards your own goal, even if you're afraid to reach that goal? Like I have been my own and first advocate in a lot of ventures I've stepped into. It's okay to self advocate. If you don't, honey, who will? So do it for you. Like I cheer myself on, I encourage myself, I do all the affirmations.
Yeah.
I do it. And I've taken it on so much so that I do it for other people. Because it's easy to say no. Because sometimes people tell you no because they're afraid for themselves. They're
Right.
living in fear. They wouldn't do it because they're afraid. And that's okay. But I'm afraid too. But I'm gonna step out and do it anyway. I'm just a little courageous, and that makes me step into it. You know, it's unknown territory, but everybody begins that way, right? We're always like we've been a new hire before, we've been a new person before, and you're nervous, but you do it anyway. So do it anyway. Just step into it. Like I don't have nothing to lose. I'm going in. I'll see y'all when I get there. If you show up, okay, cool. If you don't, cool. I'm going and transition, the best you can. It won't be perfect. There's no such thing. There's no perfect way to start something. There's no perfect way to, get the process started. I wake up and I encourage myself first. I'm my first yes. I'm my biggest cheerleader. That's how I transition. Girl, you got to get up and do this.
Ooh,
Yes.
you hit the nail on the head. You know, while you were speaking to, I was thinking about the fact that, when I was stalking you, I saw that you actually help new writers as well. Is that right? How do
Yes.
you juggle all that? Because I think I also saw your mom and like you have many hats. How you juggle all those things?
Well, I think being a mom helps you help other people, right? Because
Mhm.
you're raising your children, so you've already seen them go through like from infant phase to toddler phase to teen, preteen, teen. So you've already watched the human growth process, right in front of you with
Mhm.
your own children. And with your kids, you see where they're good at, you see their strengths, you see their weaknesses before they even know what it is. I take that same mindset and concept with someone who's writing, and if they have a new idea, or they get like, we get like mental blocks when we're writing. All I do is tap into it, see where they are mentally, and I start pulling on that creativity because it's a way to do it. Just pull from their own mindset. They already have it within. We already have what we need in us. We just need someone sometimes to just pull it out of us
Yeah.
and then hold us accountable for
Yeah.
processing it through. And I'm pretty good at it.
It sounds like, I mean, if nothing else, you got the experience with it. Like you said, I'm sure it was like other places in life as well, but motherhood
Yes.
constantly teaches us to meet people where they're at and to be flexible.
Yes.
I have to know though, like, because I'm thinking about myself and we sound similar in the fact that I like to say we're busybodies, but really, busy has like this negative connotation because we're actually getting stuff done. Like, we're not just moving just to
Right.
move. How do you manage your time with all of this? Like, because you're even talking about going back to Germany too. So I'm like, you got to make some time for the fun. Like, how are you managing
Yes.
everything?
A planner. I love to
Mm,
plan. I have
yeah.
my happy planner. I will create a planner. I
Yes,
am a
happy planner.
planner person. Yes, the calendar. And I know we tend to try to rest away from technology,
Mm,
but honestly, technology can be our friends if we use it for what we need it for, right? So between my paper planner, the cell phones, I plan out pretty much everything. I plan out, rest. I plan my downtime, especially when we sitting around work and you be like, girl, what you doing this weekend? Girl, absolutely nothing. Girl, nothing, not a thing
yes.
on thing. I'm like, I don't want to do nothing. I want to rest. I use my planner and I check in with the planner. Just like you check in with a person. My planner
Yeah.
is my girl. I check in with my planner and that's how I hold myself accountable. Um, but I'm really into my plan. I like to decorate my plan. I get all the sticker stuff,
Yeah.
and I make sure it's pretty so that I want to go look at it. But I use still a paper planner, and I try to make sure that I'm prioritizing those things, especially if there's a deadline. I make my to-do list. I write it all down, prioritize it, and no, everything I don't always get done right when I should get it done. But I
Right.
go back to make sure I follow up on what it was I missed out on doing. So I'm an avid pla- planner. Like I love my planners. I probably bought too many, but that's okay. That's okay.
Look, I have no judgment. This is my kind of talk. I'm all about routines and managing time. I did have to, gosh, I think a year, maybe some change, a year or some change ago, like tried my darnest, and I still been trying to like segue into the tech side because I have those more often than not now, especially have those moments where like you're actively talking to somebody, y'all start planning something, next thing you know, and I'll pick up my phone, go to my calendar, and if nothing was there, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good. Yeah, let's do it. Because my planner wasn't there. Versus now I go in, and to your point, I put everything in that, like in my calendar. I mean, all the way down
Yes.
to rest, to laundry, to all that. And so now I can see it and go, oh no, there is no space left, or I'm gonna have to move some stuff around to make it happen.
Right.
I definitely am a happy planner as well. But I was like, Lord, I'm setting myself up for failure by the time I would be so overwhelmed and just completely dragging myself. And the first thing we would replace is the rest. And which of course would lead to the burnout because then you're doing, going, and nothing was
Yes.
happening. How did you start to like kind of make rest important in your life, especially while you're, juggling so many things? How do you make sure you get it done?
I first start paying attention to the signs that I need the rest because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we like to energize the bunny. We just keep going and going,
Yep.
and
Yep.
we don't even realize we haven't stopped to eat. We're not
Mm-hmm.
hydrating. So I have to be cognitive that, wait a minute, I need to stop and eat. So that's my first thing, like recognizing that I haven't even done it. And I realize, okay, no, my energy levels get low. Um, I'm probably getting a little short tempered and annoyed at stuff that normally won't bother me because I'm not rested or I'm keep going and my attitude's getting a little negative. I'm not that encouraging. That's not my natural way. So first of all, acknowledging and being aware that I need the rest. Then mostly I sit down.
Mm.
Like that may be the hardest thing for somebody to do. Go sit down somewhere
You sound like our
and not
mamas.
just yeah, and not just sit down like cuz sometimes people who work sitting down think that sitting down is just like
Yeah.
sitting in a certain
See it.
position. But no,
Mm-hmm.
sit down and calm your body, calm your
Mm.
mind. Because sometimes our minds and our bodies is just running. So mentally calm down, sit down and breathe. Like truly breathe. Because chaos can be going on all the way around us. That does not mean we have to be ourselves chaotic right in the midst of chaos. Learn to calm your nerves, calm yourself. That's the first thing I try to do is be aware, recognize my signs so that I can calm down. Because, I mean, I can't get back that rest that I'll need if I just keep going. I'm a crash. I'm gonna burn out. So
Yep.
recognizing and being aware is some of the things that I just sit down, just relax, take a load off. Even some of my coworkers have to be like, "Okay, Crystal, go sit down, girl, because have you ate? Like, go
That
take care
part.
of self." Yeah, because in my work environment, because I still work for a full time job, they have to
Hmm.
say like, "Girl, go sit down. Like, have you had some water? Like, what are you doing? You overdoing it." So, those are the first things that I try to be aware that I'm overextending myself.
I think that resonated with me so much because I'm a goer. Look, we love to go.
Yes,
We get things done.
yes, yes.
But to your point, there's this moment where you really do have to sit back and kind of check in with yourself. And I think that the fear that comes up for people sometimes is that is what leads to burnout, is that they're sitting back, checking in on themselves when they could be doing something, which puts them further behind. And, even if you're at work, right? Like, I know you mentioned working in the healthcare field, like, there's always something to do. There's always
Always.
something to do. But the same could be said for motherhood as well. There's always something to do. And so if we don't take that moment to check in, like it's not that the to-do list gets longer, it's just still there.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I think that's the mindset shift that like a lot of us have to go through. And I think most moms have to go through is that like the list is sometimes endless, right? Because motherhood, we're a mom forever. But you got to stop the to-do list at some point. It's just like with work. Like since we're bringing up work, like I like to tell people, I clock out, I clock out. I had to make that rule for myself, right? Because if we don't,
Right.
you'll be sitting there.
Right. Knowing the difference, knowing how to differentiate your work life and home life.
Hmm.
Because if you bring work home, then you're going to make home stressful. And if you
Yep.
take home to work, you're going to make work stressful.
Yep.
So separating the two and still keeping yourself mentally balanced is key. And that's hard. That's so hard because we juggle a lot. But it's possible. We just have to stop and take the time to enjoy the moment we're in, like right where you are. Enjoy it. Breathe through it. And honey, with these kids, if them kids still breathing and they let them run around, let them they'll be okay. Like these kids have way more energy than we do. They do. They have
Don't
way
they?
more energy. So you tiring yourself out. Them kids looking at you like, what is wrong with her? Because you tired and they keep going on. Like they're not concerned that you're tired. They're like, something's wrong with mama. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let them kids go on. I know sometimes we like to hold on to our kids. I have released my children. And I have this big smile because I have released my children. They are doing their own things, and I am enjoying this moment. Um, and I think they're enjoying their moment without me, this time in their lives without me. So and to watch them go on out and spread their wings and do their own things in their own lives, it's been the most pleasurable thing I've ever experienced. So all the times I was uptight and like, oh my God, and I kept trying to do all the things and make sure everything. I was on edge trying to get all, mark off all our to dos, and
Yeah.
those kids was not bothered like at all. Your coworkers don't be bothered. They will watch you run
Yeah.
around your work center doing all the things. If you don't ever sit down yourself, they'll watch you do it. People will watch you run yourself ragged, chasing the bag, chasing success, and then you're the
Mm,
one left without the energy you need, without the self care you need. Not them. They're observing you do it.
man. And I think that what you just mentioned is even a tricky line because not so much in motherhood, but specifically like at work or professionally, there's this line that we have to juggle of like, are you doing too much? And you're doing the right amount to ensure that you grow professionally and personally. How do you know when you found that balance? Like, what does your balance look like now with those two things?
So I even mentioned this in my book. I wrote a chapter. Chapter 2 is full time 60. We spend so much time and energy giving out to our employers or to our businesses or to whatever it is in our lives. We spend so much time giving to those different aspects of our lives that we run more so quicker to burnout than we would if you wasn't trying to be a superwoman. Because somewhere, some point in life, as women, we thought it was okay to put the cape on and be super women. No, that's not okay. So one of the things that I've tried to do is again recognize and be aware that hey, I'm giving a lot over here and I need to save some for self. I'm gonna leave some for myself. Cause if I don't, my whole mindset, my attitude, everything shifts. And then
Mhm.
I'm someone I don't recognize.
Mm,
So, especially in the workplace, and that's basically that entire chapter, you started to feel resentment, you start to feel anger, you start to, I don't like this job anymore. Well, you was
yeah.
perfectly fine when you interviewed for the job. So, so now you're feeling all these emotions simply because you haven't realized you're pouring out so much into something, and not that that's a bad thing. Of course, we want to show up and give our energy and our time to our employers and to our businesses, but not at the point of you tapping out. Like not at all, because then what can you pour back into what do you have for yourself? And that's what I was learning. Oh, if I see that I'm like, okay, y'all. I'm about to put in a PTO day because
Hmm.
I love y'all, but I gotta get some time away because there are general things. Again, when things start to annoy you or work your nerves, and you be like, they working my nerves a little too much. Um, then you need to reassess and remember while you're there, even sitting down doing a gratitude journal, like that's part of my planner. I have a section in my planner where I write down my gratitude, because then we get so frustrated at our coworkers and at all the things we got to do, and we don't even remember why we're grateful to be there.
Mm.
So definitely I step back and take a time for myself. Even if
Yeah.
I have to schedule a PTO day. Yes. Take a PTO day, girl. Take a staycation or what I call like a self-carecation.
Yep.
Take that time because you wake up with all this energy. You wake up thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna conquer the world," and your cape get on fire when you trying to trying to do all the things, and you can't. We can't. What are we running on? Like we can't do that to ourselves at all. Leave some
No,
for
that's good.
yourself.
I always like to tell people or remind people, and I'm a Marvel fan. So I always tell folks like superheroes are not real. I watch Marvel all the time. My boys love Spider-Man and they are not real. And so you're trying to like live your life based on this like false sense of reality. And so I tell them like there are a lot of things we need to be delulu about. That's not one of them.
Oh yes.
Like, so, but you hit the nail on the head when you mentioned like finding that balance takes a lot of the same things it takes to like prevent burnout, which is like checking in with yourself, completely stopping, making sure you're prioritizing yourself and what you actually need in that moment. But then you also mentioned like those call outs or how you can kind of check yourself when you are going a little too deep on one side or the other, which is like that resentment, the burnout, the anxiety, the stress, the thinking nobody's doing as much as I am, which they probably ain't, but that's probably why they ain't feeling the way you are.
Right. Right. Yeah. You
That was a
know.
really good point.
Yeah. Like we go to work. We know after you work in I work in a team setting. You begin to know who's who will um show up and just that's it. They just there. They just showed up. Like
Hmm.
she's physically in the building, but
That's
and
it.
who's yeah, like you get to learn your coworkers and your coworkers get to learn you. Everybody kind of knows, who's who in your little work mix. And if you find yourself overextending yourself and then you left at the end of the day feeling negative feelings towards your coworkers, what you do, your job, now you don't even like what you do. Like you like what you do, or you wouldn't keep doing it every day. You would find a way to
Yep.
get out of it.
Yep.
You just upset that you haven't figured out how to balance yourself in the midst of your team, and that's what I had to learn to do. Learn how to balance because I can't change them.
Hmm.
I can only change myself. So I was like, oh, okay. She wants to be on her lazy girl era. That's cool. I'm gonna sit down and see what she feeling like. If you gonna sit down, I'm gonna sit down too, girl. We'll see how it get done. Like, you
Let's sit
know,
together.
yeah, because she's not bothered. Like your coworkers aren't bothered. They're just going through. They enjoying their day. Why don't you enjoy yours? Like you don't have to overextend and don't be apologetic for it. I no longer apologize for taking time to rest. Why am I sorry for resting?
Hmm. I used to tell people like rest is a part of everything. Like it's a part of the cycle. You don't just go, 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 burn out, and then finally get to earn your rest. Like rest is what should be happening on a routine basis. So I like the
Definitely.
fact that you're like, you see your coworker instead of being resentful, maybe take a page out of her book for a second. Like you're getting things done. It doesn't mean that you need to not do your job, but it does mean that maybe you need to take a breather, reevaluate, because there are times to your point too that like we are overextending, and even though we may not do what the coworker is doing, because that's not what we're saying, but like it does mean that like they got a little bit more chill pages than we do in our book that we might need to snatch away from.
Oh yes.
So, ooh, Crystal. Okay. So I always have a point at the podcast where I like to ask, what is one key takeaway that you hope that everyone gets from today's episode, or just one piece of advice you would like to leave them with if they ain't hear nothing else?
Okay. Let your mindset be your balance scale for knowing you.
Mm-hmm.
Your mindset is key to everything. It's the key to your heart, your life, your health. Let your mindset be the balance scale to determine like what you need, the growth you need, the success you need, the rest you need. Um, because this is the key to your future success, whatever you see success as, because you don't need to compare your success or your level to someone else's. So let your mindset be your balance scale. That's going to get you where you need to go in life. Yes.
That was good. That mindset shift is going to be everything. Okay, Crystal, tell us where we can find you. Where can we find your book? Give us all the tea.
Okay, sure, sure. So, this is my book,
Yes.
Reestablish Your Identity. Okay, you can find this at www.standingplantedpublishing.com as well as Amazon. However, if you want the workbook to go with it, that's only on my website. So again, that's www.standingplantedpublishing.com where you can find that. Yes, go get it, honey. It's readily available.
Love that. I'm going to make sure
Yes.
it's linked below, specifically the one for your website, because if you know, you know. We'll make sure that people get that bundle deal because they definitely, we need to put some stuff in action this year and stop doing
Oh,
all that
yes.
talking and reading. I like to say, I had a bad habit of this myself where you would gather all this information and never do anything with it. You just became a lifelong learner instead of a lifelong doer. So I'm pushing everybody that listens to the podcast to make sure they do behind this information as well. But Chris, I so appreciate you sharing that with us, sharing your transparency and your wisdom with us. And thank you again for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
I hope that at least one thing we said today resonated with you, sis. If you didn't already, please be sure to leave a comment below or subscribe to the channel. And if you're someone who this episode resonated with, you need my one-on-one balance coaching. In my one-on-one coaching, I help overwhelmed mom put a routine in place and set effective boundaries so that you can stop that cycle of burnout. Your time is now, sis. Stop playing with your life. And remember, balance is not something you find, it's something you create. Until next time, bye.